So I just wanted to go over two of the simplest ways that you can work on your breath work. Um, the first is just pay attention to your breathing. It's really that simple. Um, just take a moment or two every day and sit or lay down and just breathe. And you don't have to change anything about your breath. I just want you to pay attention to it. So we're going to just practice that here, and I'm going to talk through some of the things that you might notice or that I'm noticing in my own breath right now, just to kind of give you a little bit of a guide to what I want you to pay attention to with your breathing. So I always prefer to do my breath work eyes closed. I find I can relax and concentrate a lot better that way, but it's entirely up to you to do what works best. So I'm just going to take a couple of slightly deeper, more relaxing breaths. And here I want to just take a moment to say that for my breath, I'm feeling it in my shoulders. I'm hearing it a little bit in the back of my throat. And I'm noticing a little bit of a disconnect in the amount of breath that I'm getting in my left side compared to my right side. So those are some of the things that I was noticing today. The other things that you can listen for, watch for, feel for is, where do you notice your breath? Are you noticing your breath? Are you feeling it on the tip of your lip, top of your lip? Are you feeling the air coming through your throat? Maybe you have or are recovering from a chest infection and you're feeling all of that air in your lungs. You're feeling that expansion in the little alveoli of your lungs. Maybe you're feeling your chest expanding and contracting. Maybe you're feeling it more in your belly, that your belly breathing is really, really strong. Maybe you're hearing that you've got a little bit of a raspiness. Maybe you're hearing nice, smooth inhales and exhales. Maybe you are noticing that you have a bit of a stutter or a bit of a jump in your breath. These are all things that aren't necessarily good or bad. They're just things that we're noticing. And as we pay attention to our breath more, we're going to get slower, deeper, smoother breathing. And all of those things are going to benefit you. Now, the second thing that I want to teach you about breathing is, whenever we kind of think of deep breathing, whenever we think of breathing technique, we naturally tend, we naturally tend to automatically think, okay, deep breath in. And we take this big breath and we try to fill our lungs as big as we can. Oh, pardon me. And while that's not necessarily a bad thing, I do want to challenge you to try and switch that narrative in your head. Now, it's not easy to do. I've been practicing this for a while and it's definitely not intuitive, but it is becoming easier. So if you think about your lungs like a balloon, When you exhale, the balloon shrinks and it never fully loses all of its air. And when you inhale, the balloon expands. So if you're already kind of half full, oh my goodness, pardon me. If you're already kind of half full and you try to expand so fully, you can just imagine that balloon stretching. And if you're blowing up a balloon and you're stretching, 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 stretching it, and you just have that, oh, is it going to pop feeling? Now, obviously, your lungs aren't going to pop, but that super forceful expansion isn't necessarily great. So, what I want you to do is think more about the exhalation phase instead of the inhalation phase. So, on your exhalation, what I want you to think about is thinking about exhaling more fully every time. Now, every time we squeeze that balloon down, 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 there's more room for expansion without overfilling. So our lung capacity actually increases without that tightness if we exhale more deeply. So let's try that. We're going to exhale after a yawn. My goodness, I apologize. And then inhale. And you see, I didn't have that huge, huge inhale, but I feel like I got a really good deep breath. So again, exhale. And inhale. And if you can try to continue to squeeze that breath out, just squeeze it out at the bottom of that exhale. You're going to, like I said, naturally increase the amount of inhalation, the amount of fresh oxygen you can bring into your lungs.